Let's get ready to Las Vegas.
Hey, everybody. We're going to start in 25 seconds as soon as I can share all this.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Can you please mute that? Thank you. Thanks for being on time today.
You're welcome.
You know what you just did?
You
used to do the same crap that I hate that people in a drive-thru do whenever you say, like, you know, thank you, like you're the customer. They're like, you're welcome. No. You don't say you're welcome. You say thank you for coming into my drive-thru. It's my pleasure to serve you today.
This isn't a drive-thru.
You didn't do me a favor, though. Like, being on time isn't a favor. It's what you're supposed to do.
It kind of is.
Whatever, I hate you. Let's close that door. Paul, would you close that door, please? Oh, and can you hit record over there? Por favor. I'm really like demanding today. All right, are you ready? Are you ready? Everybody ready? Here we go. Please share the post that I just posted, please.
You share it.
I already did on like 4 different platforms.
You put it on a platform.
Stop messing up the open.
That's your platform right here.
This is the Riot Podcast with Matt Moscona and Ryan Terrio. One is an athlete, the other an athletic supporter.
You mean do it on Facebook?
Follow
or
the guys on Twitter.
Stop it!
What are you doing?
And at rterrio7. Here's Matt and Ryan.
Presented by Prime Occupational Medicine. This is the Riot Podcast. I am Matt Moscona. He is Mr. The Riot, Ryan Terrio. Thanks for being here. Those of you watching us on Facebook.
Thank you for having me. Like, I really appreciate you letting me come in.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, thank you.
This is the Riot Podcast. So you can watch us every Tuesday, noon Central Time on the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. Many of you are doing that presently. We thank you. If you are listening to this podcast or watching it at a later time, thank you as well. And thanks to Prime Occupational Medicine for making this happen each and every week. We're very, very grateful to them. And I have to mute that, and sorry about that. So, LSU lost to Alabama, and we have to talk about that. We'll do Kick Rocks. We'll do Ask Us. We'll do all the stuff that we normally do here. But I want to start with something that happened last night.
All right.
It started with this because, hold on. It started with this. So Ryan Clark, our friend, was on Get Up, the show on ESPN, and said this.
Out to New Orleans, it's going to get rowdy. They're going to be in there, stand up and get crunk. And this thing ain't no, so people going to be drunk no matter how early the game is. We're going in there. We're going to give the ball to Ty Gurley. It's smash mouth football. We coming downhill. Yeah, Drew Brees. Oh, look at me. I'm the leader in passing yards. Jared Goff, it's your time. We let Andrew Whitworth get off the bus first because you know what Louisiana's like, Andrew. Get out there with your big shoulders, with the captain patch, and go do what you got to do. Defense, let's attack. Hey, we're going to stop the deep ball. Hey, Angry Aaron. I'm calling Angry Aaron. You know who I'm talking about. Aaron Donald, go get at these people. It's going now. Here, and next week, we're going to be...
All right, so Ryan Clark went and got super, super animated about the Rams. And then in that video, so Jonathan Vilma, former Saints linebacker, quote tweets that video and says, in this edition of Tweets That Don't Age Well, hashtag who dat, of course, because the New Orleans Saints beat the Rams on Sunday, which, by the way, Ryan Clark predicted they would on After Further Review last week. So, from there, the plot thickens because Zach Strief, the play-by-play radio voice of the New Orleans Saints, then quote tweets John Vilma's tweet and says, "Why is he," meaning Clark, "why is he acting like such a fool, though?" Well, that, apparently, did not sit well with Mr. The Riot. Because last night, as I am checking out Twitter, I see that you have taken a shot at Zach Strief. Your tweet, "Hey, at Zach Strief, before you say someone is acting like a fool, maybe you should listen to a few of your games. Hashtag foolishness, hashtag bad choice of words, hashtag deuces better, hashtag learn the player's name." So, that was interesting. I think.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Bruh. I mean, you went right after Zach Strief in the jugular.
That's right.
I mean, it's just Twitter, bro. What you so upset about?
No, man. Did you see RC's response?
No.
Okay. There was a little action going back and forth between he and Zach Strief. So RC kind of went back at him, then Zach Strief went back at him and kind of kept going and going. I just had enough. And here's the thing, Matt. When you're going to start calling people out on and saying they look like a fool or acting like a fool, you better make sure your stuff is right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I've listened to this guy since the season's, actually, I take that back. I listened to him for 2 games. I was hoping he would get better in the second game. He did not get better in the second game. It was actually worse in the second game. And then I haven't listened to him since.
Zach Strief.
Zach Strief.
Yeah, he's not good. He's
not good at what he does. He doesn't know the players' names. He doesn't know their numbers. He jumbles and mumbles his words the entire time. His delivery's bad. Doesn't know when to say things and when not to say things. His his touchdown calls are terrible. And then to go off on my man RC and throw him out there like that, it's just not right. You don't do that. I had to let him know. Actually, I don't even know if he did know. He didn't respond. He probably just saw it and was like, whatever. I don't know who this guy is. But.
To you?
Probably.
So, Ryan did reply to Zach Strief's tweet. He said, "Entertainment, brother, having some fun. Not a huge fan of fool, though. I know you do radio back home, and I live there. Want to ever talk ball with this fool? Let me know, bro. Could learn something. Been at this, man. This ain't local."
That's right. And then Strief follows it up with, "I started a business in New Orleans to give back to the city that was so good to me." Okay. To provide jobs, which is a stupid tweet, and that's a stupid thing to say. Unless your business is a nonprofit business and you're giving things away to people, you're not doing it to give back to the city. You're doing it to make money. You're capitalizing on your success that you had in that city, which I'm okay with. It's fine. Do what you got to do. Make some money. Feed your family. But don't spin it as if you're doing New Orleans a favor for opening some stupid brewery. FYI, there's 1,000 breweries in New Orleans. They don't need another one.
His beer's not that good either. We went there on the beer tour. It was a cool place, but the beer was the least of the ones we went to.
So his beer's about as good as his play-by-play.
Beer's better than the play-by-play.
Beer's better than the play-by-play.
For sure. So here's the back and forth with Strief then. So Strief replied to Ryan and said, "Sensitive much?" I said, "Acting like. That's your brand of entertainment. All good with me. Do you, bro?" And Clark said, "Not at all. Fool is not a word I'm a fan of in any light. I don't refer to people in that manner. I believe it's disrespectful." So I addressed it. You know me personally. Felt like I could reply. Offer still stands. Anytime you want to talk ball, let me know. Strief cordially said, "I'll take you up on that. Don't think you are one. Know you better than that. Doesn't mean you can't look like one. I decided to open a business in New Orleans, create jobs in the city that supported me. Would love to host you at Port Orleans Beer. Very proud to be local."
He's not local. Where's he from?
Well, he went to Northwestern up in Evanston,
there
Illinois.
You go. You're not local.
But he was drafted by the Saints in 2006, and he's been here ever since. And now he's the voice of the Saints, and he stayed, and I do respect that. And I do respect the fact that he's trying very hard. He's not a great play-by-play man, and I think it's more, like we talked about when they got the job, it's more evidence of just the market and of just wanting a guy that's familiar. And I hope he has that job for a long time. He gets much better at it. He's not very good right now. I mean, it's a reality. Like it's a very hard thing to do. Like radio play-by-play is not an easy thing to do, and to do it on the biggest stage in that sport that's a tough ask from jump. But
he's really bad at it.
He'll get better.
There's no way he has that job next year.
Yeah, come on.
Let's be honest.
Who are they gonna come on? Who are they gonna hire?
Jordy Culotta?
Of course he's got the job.
Dixon McMakin?
Of course he's got the job next year. Stop
Kevin
it.
Franklin?
And I hope he's got it for the next 30 years.
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to need.
I thought you'd come at it way harder today. You're just kind of.
I'm going to need the listeners' help on this.
Okay.
Because you know what, I do think that I do want to see him get better, and I think there's a way we can do that.
Okay.
We're gonna need the listeners' help. We're gonna need the viewers' help. I think we start a GoFundMe account. And I think we raise enough money that we can get him some private lessons, some play-by-play lessons with Chris Blair. Because I think Chris Blair does a great job.
Now, Chris Blair is a guy who is very good at play-by-play.
Yeah.
And he's done it his entire life, and he's polished, and he's worked very hard at it.
I'm going to reach out to Chris Blair, see if he'd be willing to do it.
How much do you think CB would charge? What would that cost?
I don't know. Maybe Zach could take some of the money that he's making at the local brewery down there in New Orleans and pay for it.
No, that's what the GoFundMe's for, right?
We'll pay for it.
How much do you think CB would
Since he's
charge?
giving back to New Orleans. He's giving it all back.
He started a business.
Doing it for the city.
He created jobs.
For
he
the
could have
city.
left.
Yeah.
He could have left. He
Should've
did.
left.
He stayed.
I'm off him.
You didn't stay in Chicago.
I came back to where I like stay local. You know, stay local. His last hashtag. That's what I did. I stayed local. This is where I'm from. This is my people. Baton Rouge. It's where I am.
And so you don't embrace someone that embraces your culture?
Not when they go after my boys.
That's
bro.
true.
Like don't go after my people.
All right.
You know, if they had done it to you, I'd done the same thing. It'd probably been worse. You'd have chimed in a little bit harder, I would have to imagine. I was proud of RC for. I've seen him kind of go on some rants before.
Yeah.
I was proud of him for holding back. I know he was sweating when he was typing. And I guarantee you he did the type, delete, type, delete, type, delete, type, delete. Like,
how many times did he craft the tweet before actually sending it?
He did it plenty. That was calculated. But I would like to hear Kevin Franklin on the play-by-play for the Saints. I think I think Kevin
not play-by-play. He does color for the Catholic High broadcast.
Well, I think he could probably do play-by-play. He and Deuce could do play-by-play, or Dixon, or maybe Jordy, or I don't know who else does
They
it.
have a lot of energy. Kevin Franklin brings the energy, man.
Yeah. Rumble, young man, rumble.
That's his line.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
Rumble, young man, rumble. He does. Okay, so LSU lost. You were wrong.
They lost bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your 2 cents. We'll get to the rest of the season coming up in a bit. We'll do Kick Rocks. We'll get to the rest of the final stretch here, 3 games in the bowl. We'll do Ask Us, so you can get your questions in if you're watching us on Facebook Live. But all right, I've spoken my piece on AFR, on podcasts. People know how I feel. What do you think?
I think the atmosphere was electric. I haven't been to a game like that in a long time. It's been a while. It was the Bama. This was 11?
12.
12. It's 12 when it was like that. But I enjoyed this a little bit more. Didn't drink quite as much. Everything and even during the game, like on campus and everywhere. I mean, I was so proud of the fans for the way that stadium was packed and loud, and people were in there. Then it was just a very prideful deal. There was celebrities all over the place, and
like Paul Wall with your kids, the iced out snowman.
The iced out snowman was there.
And I love how Houston is pointing to his braces, like that's his grill. That's his braces. That's beautiful.
I mean, it was unbelievable, the vibe and the feel, and then the game started. Oh, my goodness. So here's my thing.
Terrier kids with Bregman as well.
Yeah.
The Terrier children with Alex Bregman.
George Springer's my new favorite player. We'll get to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to do something positive out of this weekend.
Yeah, George Springer's positive. Here's my thing, okay? If you think you're going to be able to line up player to player, man to man, and beat that team, you're sadly mistaken. We've got analysts, offensive analysts, defensive analysts. You had 2 weeks to prepare. We've seen what they have. We've seen the numbers that they've put up. I don't know who thought that they would be able to run off tackle and have success, or a 5-step or three-step drop for that matter, you would be able to get a ball off. You have to be more creative. Something has to be done to get those guys thinking, to put them on their heels. If we know they're going to pin their ears back and rush the passer, you know the O-line is a weakness. Okay, we know that. And we know they have great D linemen. Why not get those guys running sideline to sideline? Maybe tire them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with going up there with John Trey Kirkland as your quarterback and running the triple option the whole first series? What's the matter with doing a halfback pass? I watch the Saints. They do it every week. The Saints run a play every single week that I've never seen them run before. Every week. Some sort of wrinkle. It just seems so vanilla, almost arrogant to think that you can go in there and beat the team that way. And what really got me was towards the end of the game when you 4th and 2, whatever it was, and you try to kick a field goal. You missed the field goal.
Just to avoid the shutout.
It's 4th and 2, Coach. We're losing by 29 or whatever it was at that point.
Just trying to avoid the shutout.
Run the ball. Yeah. What moral victory? Who cares about the moral victory? You can put your kicker in a bad spot. Poor guy wasn't ready to kick a field goal. We don't kick it right there. We're LSU. Just trying to avoid the. I mean, it was just terrible, man. The lack of creativity was just what really got me. I fully expected to see something, and I really thought it was going to be the Wildcat. I thought we'd have somebody in that Wildcat position that we haven't seen all year, and I thought you'd have both backs on the field, similar to what Florida did to us with the option. I mean, we hadn't seen that yet. Florida beat us at home with that option. I mean, that was the primary reason why they got us. Got the defense on their heels, and it opened some things up, and it didn't happen. I thought the defense played well. Thought the linebackers that stepped in for Devin White did a great job. Yeah, I mean, it was just and
Patrick Queen had a brutal miss on the first Alabama offensive series when Najee Harris had the 28-yard run off right side. Patrick Queen was obliterated by their offensive guard, knocked like 5 yards back. It was brutal.
So it wasn't a miss. He just got crushed by the offensive guard. So it's safe to say that our D lineman that was supposed to block that guard didn't block him.
Well, no, I mean
I don't know.
Defensive linemen don't block offensive linemen. Offensive linemen block defensive players.
Well, the defensive lineman was in the wrong spot. I don't know.
No, just
when those guys get to the second level, generally it's over, right? When you get a guard.
Not if you're a fast linebacker that can shed a block like Devin White could.
Yeah. Well, he's different.
Instead, Patrick Queen just sort of stood in front of a guard and got knocked back like 5 yards. Oh, man.
I guess the last thing I'll say is this. The last thing I'll say is this. And then I'm done talking about. Well, we can still talk about it because I would like to.
Okay. All right.
Going into the game, our leaders knew what our personnel was, and they knew what Alabama's personnel was. To say that it's a personnel issue after the game, post-game, is admitting that you did not do your job.
Hang on. I have that cut from Ed Ogeron. I want you to hear it because I'm curious your thoughts on it.
Let me say something. I told the guys the table was set, man. The fans were great. The energy all day. There was want to, man. This group we had all our players here, ex-players here. Everything was set, but hey, we got beat in a lot of scrimmage, man. We got to get better. I got to recruit better defensive linemen. I got to get defensive linemen like that. I got to recruit better offensive linemen. Same old thing. You got to beat Alabama in a lot of scrimmage.
If you're an offensive or defensive lineman at LSU right now, how are you feeling?
I'm pissed. I'm absolutely going into his office. No doubt about it. And closing the door. 100%. These guys aren't one-star or two-star linemen. I mean, these are highly recruited. Like Rashard Lawrence is a guy.
Rashard Lawrence and Ed Alexander were both top 5 defensive linemen in the country. They came out.
So, I mean, I'm going to close that door saying, hey, man. Like
Tyler Shelvin was the number 1 player in the state of Louisiana when he signed last year, and you can't even get that kid on the field.
You can't, yeah.
At some point, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, how am I not maximizing these guys on both sides of the ball? You don't have to be out. Nobody's Alabama. Nobody's going to recruit at that level as Nick. Nick's just different. I get it. But to be wholly demolished on both lines of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, it's embarrassing, man. 12 rushing yards? 12 rushing yards is some kind of Mickey Mouse crap that LSU would do to an FCS school that comes into Baton Rouge. Like that's 12 rushing yards. LSU against Sam Houston State, right? Like that's 12 rushing yards. Not LSU held to 12 rushing yards in its own building and no points, bro. I'm sorry, I've talked about it enough. You wanted to keep going.
If I'm one of those players, I'm going in the office and I'm closing the door because something's got to be explained to me. Like, where did I go wrong? You know, maybe the player made a bad choice going to school where he went to school. I mean, that would be my question. You know, these guys have held up their end of the bargain. And you mentioned Tyler Shelvin. I promise you this. If Tyler Shelvin is the player that he is coming out of high school and doesn't see the field of play for your team because of weight issues, that's not Tyler Shelvin's problem. Now, I will say he should have taken care of his business. But as a man, as a coach, as a mentor or teacher, you have to put that guy in a position to get better. Period. End of discussion. It just really frustrates me that you blame it, you put it back on the kids and you say, hey, man, like, you know, we just got to I got to recruit better. No. See, it was different. When Skip used to say, I used to crack up all the time. Skip Bertman would go out to the mound and he'd get the ball from the pitcher and he'd say, see, it's not your fault. It's my fault.
I recruited you.
I recruited you. It's my fault. My bad. Right?
He's so good.
But I mean, that basically is saying it is your fault. It's the player's fault. We have to recruit better. No. It should have been I have to be better. I have to be better. I have to teach these guys better. I have to prepare them better. And yes, I do have to recruit better. But you don't say that in public to people.
Right.
You never say that, man. You don't tell a kid he's not good enough. I didn't like it at all.
One of the comments here on the Facebook Live, Jeb said, we couldn't scheme a single damn point. That's not all on the players. First time I've heard O pass the buck. Actually, it's not the first time that Ed Ogeron passed the buck.
I wish we could have had that first down back. I mean, I wanted Darryl to get the ball, and you know, our third string back got the ball. And I should have done a better job of game planning. I was not aware that we were going to do that, and I think that's not the way we ought to start the game.
I think Nick Brissett felt being called a third-string running back.
Exactly.
And then on his coach's show that week, Ed Ogeron said, we don't have a place kicker on our roster right now. That was last year. Look, I know for a fact that Jack Onslow and Connor Culp and their families weren't too pleased about that. So, look, I didn't play. You did. You would know better how those things go. But people have asked me, I did Josh Indus' show in Houston today, and he asked me if I thought this would maybe cause a fracture in the locker room. And the answer is no, man, because Ed did the same thing last year, and he didn't lose the locker room. I think the guys love playing for him. I think Ed is just transparent to a fault.
You can tell me as a player whatever you want to tell me. We can, like men, go sit in an office, and you can close the door, and you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And then I have the ability to say whatever I want to say back. Here's my problem with this scenario. If a player comes out and says anything, he's wrong. He can't. The player can't rebuttal any of this whatsoever. Now, you saw some guys get on Twitter with the question marks, whatever it may be.
Greg Gilmore, yeah.
But the player can't say, oh, it was. Imagine if one of those players said, man, our offensive coordinator's got to do better. He's got to call better plays. What if Joe Burrow said, man, we had all this open all night long, but, you know, so-and-so didn't call the play. Or, you know, one of the defensive guys, man, I could have been blitzing here, but he didn't do it. Like, if a player says that, now he's the bad guy. You don't do that. I mean, bring me in the office, yell and scream at me, tell me how terrible I am. I'm fine with that. But don't do it in public like that. That's not how you treat people. I don't know. I mean, it's for me, it's a respect thing.
Riot Podcast brought to you by Prime Occupational Medicine, primeoccmed.com, safety, human resources, corporate planning. Tell people more about the Prime Occupational Medicine.
It's actually pretty awesome. And I would like to wish a happy birthday to Sean Connor today. The big boss man at Prime Occupational Medicine, Sean Connor. He turns 27 years old today.
27?
Yep.
Boy, Sean.
Sean makes it happen over at Prime.
27 candles.
Sean, my man Doug Thompson.
The Duggar.
The Duggars over at Prime.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Do some really good things at Prime. If you're a business owner, You need to make sure your employees are healthy. Let's say somebody might get hurt. Prime can offer any service that you may or may not need to get that guy back to work in a timely manner. You need drug testing?
Yep.
Make sure your guys are on the straight and narrow?
Yep. Need that.
Prime can do that.
How about it?
Let's say you're in Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're in New Roads.
I'm in New Roads.
You need them to come on site.
Oh, I do need them to come on site.
They can do it.
Wow. Prime can do that?
They can.
How can they do that?
They can perform everything that they do in their beautiful facility on airline
Yeah.
on site at your business.
How can they do it on site?
They have these little mini ambulance things.
Yeah, they do.
Sirens and all. They can perform anything that they need on site. Call Prime Medical, 225-749-5750. Tell them the Riot sent you, or go visit them at www.primeoccmed.com. Happy birthday, Sean.
And we'll link them in this the post as well on Facebook. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, if you could, please go like their Facebook page. It's a big help as well. So one of my kick rocks this week was going to be Ed Ogeron, but since you kind of already hit that one, I guess we could just maybe blow past that one and just get to the rest of our kick rocks for today. You go with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do kick rocks.
It's now time to kick rocks with Ryan Terrio.
Kick rock.
Kick rocks.
NBA can kick rocks because they're so dang sensitive.
What are you looking at?
What are you looking
kick
at?
Rocks.
You kick
As a matter of
rocks.
fact, the NFL can kick rocks too.
We've got rocks.
You know
what to do.
In that case, then Matt's going to have to kick rocks.
Now let's see if Ryan Terrio actually prepared for this week's segment.
I'm going to tell myself to kick rocks.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
You might blow past it, but I'm not going to blow past it. I think coaches or people in power that say things and know that the ones they're saying them about cannot say things in return can kick rocks.
Okay.
You following that?
Okay.
If you're in a position of power and you say something about an employee or player publicly, knowing that they cannot respond, you can kick rocks. Those players are giving 110%. It's obvious they're giving you everything they got.
What if some aren't giving 110%?
They're
What if
giving
some are giving
100%.
like 87%?
They're giving everything they got.
What if
Matt.
they're giving like 86.5%?
That's good enough for me. They're kids.
Okay.
They'll learn. It's not their fault.
So are you telling Coach O to kick rocks?
I'm telling anybody in a position of power.
Does that include Coach O?
Yeah.
So you're telling
Is he in a
Coach...
position of power?
I think so.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But your kick rocks, though. You get to say it.
Yeah.
You're not saying it, though.
Coach O can kick rocks.
Ooh!
If you're in a position of power.
I saw your friend Jerry Sullivan yesterday.
How's Coach doing?
He looked spry.
He
He
looks
did. I was
spry.
walking in my car after the press conference. He was passing me the other way. Michael Cobble and I were walking, and Cobble said, "Hey, Coach, guys."
Did he have a little to-go box?
Well, no, he was going in
Oh,
to
he
the
was going-
stadium. Yeah, we were walking.
I
To
was
the car.
going into the stadium.
Well, that's where the offices are now.
Is he walking? Or
He was walking. Yeah,
by himself?
yeah.
Wow. Cool. I think he's doing a great job, by the way.
I think LSU's receivers are horribly disappointing this year.
I think they're good. They're going to get the ball, man. They can't get the ball to them. What are we going to do? How do you know if they're disappointing? I had a few drops here or there. They're young. They're good. What you got?
Michael Thomas can kick rocks.
Whoa. Pause. Oh, for what?
For being a really selfish player.
That's you. I figured you'd say that.
So I love celebrations. I love the cell phone celebration. I wish the NFL would let players use props. I'm happy they do choreograph things. I laugh at them every time. Ben Watson did the little baby thing. He put the ball under his belt, under his shirt, show he was having babies. I like whenever they did bowling one time where the linemen lined up like pins and somebody rolled a ball and then it hit them and they all fell down.
They did the batter getting hit by the pitch and charging the mound.
Yeah, charge the mound. I love them. I love all those things. I'm all for creativity and celebration and all that stuff. But what Michael Thomas did is super selfish for this reason. As soon as you pull out a prop, the flag's coming out. You know that's costing you 15 yards instantly. Okay? There's 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in that game. That score puts you up 9. PAT pending to make it 10. 2-score game. 3:52. The Rams have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. That's one of the best offenses in the NFL, if not the best offense in the NFL. Now you have to kick off from the 20, which means they're going to get a return. Average return, 25, 27 yards, which means you're granting them the ball outside of the 40-yard line, between the 40 and midfield, which is exactly what happened. You gave one of the best offenses in the NFL the ball basically with half a field.
Pretty much.
3:52 remaining, 2 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning. They could score, get a stop, use their timeouts, get the ball back with a chance to tie or win. That is horribly selfish. If that was a walk-off, if there's 20 seconds left in the game and it's over, I'll take your penalty. Fine, I'm good. Don't care. I don't care one bit. We had in 7th grade, our coach was Ronnie Procell in football at MBS, 7th and 8th grade. And we were playing St. Jude. We had a player who was from MBS. He transferred, went to St. Jude. He's a really good player. Brandon Bourgeois went on and played at Parkview.
Good
was a really good player.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're playing Parkview. We're playing St. Jude, and Coach Ronnie told us, hey, you score and it's over, like it's over. He said, you have my blessing. And he spiked the football. Like we were in a team meeting on like the Friday before the game. He's like, you have my blessing. Spiked the, knowing it's going to be a penalty if the game's over. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I have no problem with Thomas pulling out the cell phone and having fun and tribute to Joe Horn, but in that spot, horribly selfish. Now, it didn't cost the Saints because the defense came up and got a stop, and that was great. But in that spot, nah, man. So you're in that game, in that spot, those yards are too valuable, man.
I think that's
Selfish.
a valid kick rock.
Selfish.
Had it cost him, but it didn't, and
But
it was
you don't.
awesome.
But you don't know it in the moment that he does it.
But now we do, and it was awesome. And Joe Horn loved it. He said he bought a Michael Thomas jersey, and
Of course, Joe Horn loved it. Joe Horn's been irrelevant for a decade. What do you
So
think
good.
he's going to say?
Love
He's
Joe
sitting in
Horn.
his home in Itabena watching this and going, oh, they remember me. Great. What if a Cubs player next year goes up to bat at Wrigley and he's got, or in batting practice and has a "You Can't Quiet the Riot" shirt or something like that, or a Cajun Connection shirt in BP, and they call you and say, hey, what do you think of this? What are you going to say?
I'm buying his jersey.
I think it sucks. Of course,
Yep,
you're going to say,
I'm loving it.
and if they ever invite me back, I'm buying that guy's jersey and I'm wearing it on the field. Like, that's what you're going to say.
But I love Joe Horn, and it didn't
I love
cost him.
Joe Horn, too.
Didn't cost him.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't cost him.
It doesn't matter
Yes, it does.
because what if it does next time? Is that the lesson you learned? Oh, it didn't cost you, so do it again next time. And then it does cost you.
That's the only way to learn is for it to mess you up. You got to make the mistake first. He'll never learn. And he looks like Arsenio Hall kind of, so I like him a lot.
He kind of does look like Arsenio
does.
Hall. Even with the hair. Have you seen the hair now with like the little poofy on the
I like
top?
it.
Little swirly thing? Yeah. That's
He-
true.
He looks like Arsenio Hall. Hey, are the Saints going to sign Des Bryant?
Nope.
What about Brandon Marshall?
Nope.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
They their quarterback, Nathan Peterman, has multiple games with 4+ interceptions. Like
Yep.
a lot of them.
Yep. A lot of them.
He throws the ball to the other team
Yep. A lot.
a lot. And
Lots.
they keep running this guy out here. Listen, it's bad enough that your fans have to live in Buffalo, New York,
That's true.
because that place stinks.
They don't have to. They choose to.
They might have to because of work or whatever it may be.
Well, work
Some
somewhere
of them
else.
could be forced to live there because Buffalo stinks. But yet you keep running a guy out there. He throws pick after pick after pick. What I do in fantasy football is I pick up the team for my defense that's playing against Nathan Peterman.
Oh, that's good. Smart.
Because they're going to have a lot of points
Oh,
because he
good.
stinks that bad.
Yep.
So Buffalo Bills can kick rocks.
This one's going to hurt me a lot. This one's going to hurt me a whole lot, dude. I don't want to do it.
Do
but
it.
I feel like I got to do it.
You do.
Tom Herman can kick rocks.
I also thought that taunting before you cross the goal line meant that it negated a score too. So I've got to I got to brush up on my rules and get some questions answered.
Hey, Tom. Shut up. I mean, you know that I'm the biggest Tom Herman homer in the world. I mean, I love the guy.
You love Tom Herman.
I love him.
You
I
really
think he's
do.
the greatest coach in the history of the world ever. Like, he's the next Nick Saban.
Did you like his hair right there?
Nope.
That was bad.
Greatest coach ever, Tom Herman. Come on, bro. That's tired. You got beat. You got beat.
You got beat.
You were leading at home.
Mhm.
Your defense gave up a score. Other coach had a sack, went for the 2-point conversion, got it, and you lost. You tip your cap, you move on. If you have a problem with the taunting call, which may very well be legit. Brad Wing had a touchdown negated for that in 2011, remember? Fake punt. Brad Wing runs it, and he does the arms out thing. Yeah, Will Greer changed his stride a little bit as he was going in the end zone on a 2-point conversion. I don't blame the guy. If the flag comes out in that moment, we're crushing the ump.
Oh, yeah.
For throwing the flag in that moment.
Crushed, yeah.
No doubt. And justifiably so. So, but if you're Tom Herman and you got an issue with that, what you do is you do what every single coach does, and you submit that to the league office on Monday for explanation, and you make the officials aware and the league office aware of it, that you're not pleased with that call, and hopefully they change it, for the next time. But to go into a press conference and say that's tired, bro. Come on. Kick rocks.
Here's my deal with it. It's kind of like when guys pimp home runs. If you don't like it,
I love it.
If
don't give up a homer.
If you don't like it, don't give up a homer.
I love pimping homers. I love bat flips. I love celebrations.
Newsflash, Tom. Like, if you don't want him to do that, then tackle him. Teach your guys to tackle better or throw a better defense out there. Like, that's how that works. Real simple.
David Babin said, Matt, I love you, but you need to watch some things non-sports related. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know. What does anything that I've said had anything to do with watching things that are non-sports related?
You watch Elmo all the time.
I do. Elmo Ducks. We watch a good bit of Sesame Street. We watch Big Block Sing Song.
Sesame Street's a good show.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
We
got a good little rotation there going. Clarabelle's Clubhouse Musical is a personal favorite of Drew's.
That's a good one.
He likes that one.
Mm-hmm.
We got some stuff. Mostly Elmo. He likes Elmo a lot. He makes me do the Elmo voice. Drew started saying, so on the Elmo Has Four Ducks thing, it starts like Elmo's about to play the little guitar, and like the curtains open. He's like, everybody get together. Thank you. Everybody get together.
Elmo says that?
Yeah, and so Drew has started saying like, tiku, like thank you, like Elmo.
Yeah.
Tiku. He's becoming really verbal. It's so fun. Drew, not Elmo.
Yeah. What does he say again, Elmo?
Thank you. Everybody get together. Elmo has four ducks. 4 birds of a feather. 2 out of width. And grow together. And then one day.
Is that it?
One swam away.
I like it.
Oh gosh, Emma just had 3. And then they keep counting down.
The end was perfect.
Yeah, they keep counting down how many ducks he's got.
Oh, man. I like that. That's pretty good. I got one more.
Hurry up.
I got one more. Let's see here.
Let's tell the people that are those of you who are just so generous and are still watching us right now. We will do Ask Us coming up here shortly, so you can get your questions in. You can ask us anything about anything. All right, go ahead.
Alabama football can kick rocks.
You can kick rocks
right now.
I might become an Alabama fan. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, you can't do that. I mean, not now. You could have done it a few years ago, but now you can't. And I've seen a few of the national hosts say this, and they're right. They've made it to where it's not even fun anymore.
Completely. College football sucks.
College football doesn't suck. Just the team that's playing Alabama sucks. It sucks to watch.
Nobody
that
can
game.
win.
You can't beat them. Like, their second team with Jalen Hurts at quarterback might be the number 2 team in the country. Like, they are that good. There's not a team that can, and I'm saying this, somebody's going to beat them next week or 2 weeks from now. But
probably
they've just made it. They've made it to where it's not fun, and something needs to be done about it.
Yeah.
So they can kick rocks. And you know what? We got to play them every year.
Yeah.
So that can kick rocks too.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
I got one more. It's 78 degrees on November the 6th.
Yeah.
That can kick rocks.
In the fog this morning?
78 degrees on November the 6th can absolutely kick all kinds of rocks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm done. That's my kick rocks. It's the Riot Podcast. We're brought to you by Prime Occupational Medicine. We appreciate our friends at Prime Occupational Medicine for letting us have this tomfoolery every week.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Happy birthday, Sean. We appreciate you all for watching. We'll get to Ask Us here shortly. PrimeOCCMed.com, PrimeOCCMed.com, or you can call them in the 225. It's 749-5750, 749-5750. But they are outside of the Baton Rouge area as well.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere.
7 locations in the Gulf South.
7 locations in the Gulf South.
And growing.
Yep. So check them out, PrimeOCCMed.com. And the Duggar works there.
The Duggar's there, just making it happen. Just going to lunch meetings every day. Being awesome.
Shane O'Callahan says, I wasted my lunch for this. Hey, Shane, You can kick rocks.
Yep.
Somebody made you waste your lunch hour, clown. Turn it off and go eat your lunch, fool.
No way.
Care about you?
No way I'm watching this
Get outta
rather than
here.
eating lunch.
What?
No way I'm watching this rather than eating lunch.
Oh, me either. So David said, I meant watching things like movies and Netflix. Love you, Matt. No, David, I don't want to watch movies and Netflix. I don't want to waste my time doing that stuff. I'd rather do things that are work-related or spend time with my family. I'm either working or I'm spending time with my family.
I like to watch the History Channel.
I don't watch TV.
History, Discovery, Smithsonian's a good one. Anything that can better me, makes me smarter. I like that. I watched a thing about King Tut last night. You know he had clubfoot.
Don't care.
Isn't that weird?
Don't care. I
And
don't
also,
care about King Tut. He's been dead for thousands of years.
In King Tut's genetics, so they're now able to test his bones and then
Awesome.
and then the bones of his father and mother. There's some disease, and I guess it's hereditary, where you have female I guess
Bosoms?
traits.
Oh.
So like your hips are shaped like a female, and then you do have boobs, and your face is, but you're still, you have male body parts, but you still.
King Tut had boobs?
So they think King Tut had boobs, and they think, I think his father, Akanaki is his father. Anyway, he had it too.
Huh.
King Tut died at a very young age.
They both had boobs.
They think he died. Get this. They think King Tut died. He had clubfoot on his left foot.
Mhm.
Okay. They think he died because there's a break in his knee. And I don't know how they figured this out. Science is amazing. The bone broke in his knee and it got infected, and that's how the guy died.
Oh, wow.
How about
That's
that?
crazy.
Like a lion didn't eat him.
Nope. Well, if a lion ate him, I doubt they'd be able to bury him in the.
He wasn't poisoned.
Did they go back in? Didn't a guy die who went up in his cave in his tomb?
That's all. Yeah, that's not real.
Oh, it's not real. You don't
No.
die if you go in King Tut's tomb.
No, that's not
I thought I remember seeing something about that when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was Indiana Jones.
No, he didn't go in there.
Yeah, he tried.
Not King Tut's tomb.
Maybe. I'm sure at some
No,
point.
he went got the Ark of the Covenant. He went and
Got
got the cup of Christ,
I'm sure at some point Indiana Jones went into King Tut's tomb.
and he went into the Temple of Doom.
Or King Tut's tomb. Same.
Not the same thing.
Close.
No, Temple of Doom was, I think, in India.
Yeah.
King Tut was in Africa, in Egypt.
Hmm.
You know.
And incest was big back then. So that had to do with the birth defects.
Yeah, that's weird.
That had to do with the birth defects.
But it was big because obviously, like, there was the belief that your kind were better, right? So you procreated with your own people.
want to keep the royal bloodline
Yeah,
going.
royal bloodline.
So if there was a genetic mishap,
Yeah,
whether it be boobs,
yeah.
for a guy,
Clubfoot,
or club, so
passing that thing along.
yeah, if your grandfather had boobs,
Yeah,
there's a chance your father's got boobs and your mother's got boobs because incest was, and that, like you said, they wanted to keep the blood pure, but
how stupid were
they
they?
also had boobs.
I know, right? That's really stupid.
It wouldn't be bad to have boobs though.
No, but like keep the blood pure. I mean, don't you know? Like you're just passing on, genetic traits and bad things.
Obviously, they didn't know that.
That's right. They're stupid.
Yeah.
King Tut, some king you are,
What an idiot.
dummy. That's why
It
you're
wasn't
dead.
his fault though.
That's why you're dead.
That's true. Are we the idiots that's still talking about him?
Probably. And Shane O'Callahan is still watching.
He is.
Hey Shane, go eat your lunch.
Go eat your
I
lunch,
want to talk
dude.
to you. All right, LSU, are they going to go 10-2?
Yep.
Why?
Arkansas stinks, and A&M's getting worse, so they're going 10-2. They're going to beat Rice. Arkansas stinks. I thought A&M 3 weeks ago, I was a little worried. A&M's getting worse. As the year goes on, they're not getting better. They're actually getting worse. So
No, they're not.
yes, they are. They lost to Arkansas. Arkansas stinks.
A&M didn't lose to Arkansas.
Okay, they lost to Ole Miss. Ole Miss stinks.
They didn't lose to Ole Miss. They lost to Auburn.
Auburn stinks.
Auburn doesn't stink. Auburn's got a good team. They got a brutal schedule.
They stink.
So LSU's win over Auburn, no good?
No good.
Okay, no good.
No
LSU's
good.
win over Miami, no good?
No good.
Okay, well, at least you can admit that. There's some
Yeah.
people that are holding on. Well, they were top 10 when you played them. Who cares? They stink, clearly. They stink.
Yeah.
You know way more about them now than you did then. They're not good.
They're not that good.
Arkansas is no good. But you know what's interesting about that one? So that spread opened at 14. It's down to 12.5. So the professional bettors are in on Arkansas with that. And it makes some sense, right? I mean, emotional letdown spot for LSU. It's going to be free. It's going to be like 40 degrees in Arkansas, or in the upper 30s. Probably like 30,000 people there, maybe. I mean, no one's going to go to this game.
Is it 11 a.m. game?
It's 6:30. Arkansas had a week off, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare to get healthy for this game. LSU's coming off a pretty physical game against Alabama. There's a lot of elements there where you can say, okay, maybe for a lot of reasons why the game's been close in past years. I don't know that this is going to be really – I mean, Arkansas's terrible.
They're bad.
They're really bad. They're starting to play better offensively under Chad Morris, and I think they are going to be a good offense under Chad Morris when he gets his people in place. But I still think LSU wins. I think they beat Rice as well. The A&M game is the one that I do circle and worry about. I picked A&M to win that game before the season started, and I still think LSU is going to have a sticky spot there. This is why. The games at A&M's 5-4 right now. They lost a home game to Clemson. Really close competitive game. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can agree Clemson's pretty good. Okay?
Clemson's good.
All right. A&M's other losses at Alabama, they're pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. They're decent.
I mean, they're a pretty good team. They lost at Mississippi State, pretty good team. Mississippi State.
I mean, they're okay.
Come on, dude. They got Mike Detillier. He sat on this radio show and said Mississippi State's got 3 players in his top 34. Like Mississippi State's a pretty good and a tough place to play. At Mississippi State,
definitely a tough place.
To play.
Yeah.
At Auburn, tough place to play.
Tough place to play.
You were up 10. You gave up they scored 14. Auburn scored 14 in the fourth quarter to win it. Beautiful pass at the end of the game with a minute left. Fine. So you've lost 3 really tough road games. At Bama, at Mississippi State, at Auburn, and you lost a home game to number 2 Clemson. At home, A&M beat Kentucky. They went
one-dimensional, but okay.
It's a good team, man.
One-dimensional. Stop the run, you can beat them, but I get it. No, they're good. I'm not
beat
saying
Florida.
they're not good. They're
They
good.
beat Mississippi State. Kentucky's a good team.
They're good.
They beat Kentucky at home. They beat Northwestern State, ULM. They beat Arkansas in a neutral site game. They get Ole Miss this weekend, UAB. They're going to beat Ole Miss at home. They're going to beat UAB at home.
They will.
And then they play LSU.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're going to circle that game and underscore it an exclamation.
Yeah, they need that one.
Their A&M's pass defense is not very good. Their run defense is fantastic. And they've got a really good running back in Travion Williams. And Kellen Mond is playing well under Jimbo Fisher. Certainly better than he did last year under Sumlin. I guess I just look at it and I go, that's a much better team than the record is going to show because they're not ready to be great this year. But their losses have been brutal road losses and a home loss to the number 2 team in the country. They've been much better at home. They've played tough on the road. They've just played really tough games on the road. So they're gonna beat Ole Miss. They're gonna beat UAB, who's a good team by the way. And then they're gonna play LSU in the regular season finale, and it's gonna be like, okay, that's their empty the tank type moment at home. They haven't beaten LSU since they've been in the SEC. We know all that. I think that's a sticky spot. And if you're just looking at A&M's record and you think they're getting worse, I disagree. I just think they have a brutal road schedule, and as we've seen, it's hard to go on the road and win in the SEC. Look at LSU's road games this year. They went to Auburn. As we just said, not a very good team. LSU needed a 10-point fourth quarter comeback, like with the aid of 2 pass interference calls to come back and win that game. LSU went to Florida. They lost. Florida just got housed at home by Missouri. You know what I mean? It's like
they did.
It's
okay. So at the beginning of the year, you had this game as an L for LSU.
Yes.
Do you still feel that way?
Ask me in 2 weeks. I want to see how LSU plays coming off.
What's changed though? I mean, has LSU's play changed your perception, or has A&M's play changed your perception?
No, I thought A&M is better defensively than I thought they'd be, especially in run defense. I knew Travion Williams good. And I figured Jimbo would find a way to score points. And look, they're averaging 28 a game. Jimbo has found a way to score. They've had a brutal schedule, and I didn't think the record would be great. A&M's a team that I thought from week 1 to week 12 would improve maybe the most of any team in the SEC. And I think defensively they're very good under Mike Elko. So I think A&M is probably what I thought they were going to be. LSU, LSU's record is better than I thought it would be. Certainly. I mean, obviously. I don't think that the team is much different than I mean, like yesterday on AFR, we ran through all of the offensive stats for LSU. They're a bad offense, man. They're
not a good offense.
So, I mean, they're not a good offense. They're getting gutted against the run. The secondary's got talent. They've given up some plays though. There's just nothing super like LSU it's like the sum of the parts with LSU has worked together, right? The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's LSU right now. When everybody is pulling in the same direction, they've been pretty good and they managed to win some games that maybe we didn't think they'd win.
Mm-hmm.
But like individually, like the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
You look at passing offense and you look at rushing offense and you look at rush defense and it's not great. It's just not. So I think LSU is kind of what I thought they'd be, but
But it's worked
impressively.
Somehow.
They've managed to like put together good game plan. The one
is that coaching?
The one,
I mean, is
in an instance like the one that is the complete outlier that I never saw coming was just housing Georgia the way they did, and I gave every bouquet you could possibly give to Ed Ogeron and that staff because they absolutely out-coached Kirby Smart.
How about the first drive of that game? The
fourth down conversions. Well, they got a turnover. It's like the offense, the fourth down conversions, being aggressive. Cole Tracy converting every opportunity when they had a field goal. They forced 4 turnovers from Georgia that day. Every game plan, every scheme was brilliant. The Bama game was complete opposite. So I think the coaching staff has done great in spots for sure. Everybody's disappointed about how this last week went, of course. But I still look at A&M and I go, that's just that's a tough spot, man.
Yeah.
Going on the road in the SEC is never easy. And LSU's done it twice this year in tough spots. They needed a rally against Auburn. They lost at Florida. Now you're going to Arkansas, and you'll have A&M. So let me see. You ask me again the week of the game.
Okay.
All right. You ready to Ask Us?
Ready when you are.
All right, well, tell people about Prime while I get the Ask Us music. And let me tell people, hey, by the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live, here's your shot. Fire away. Anything about anything. This is Ask Us. So you can ask any question about anything at all, just like we do on Fridays with Ask Ryan. So this is Ask Us. Fire away.
Whether it be safety, human resources, or corporate planning, call the good people at Prime Occupational Med, 225-749-5750, or visit their website, www.primeoccmed.com. Like I said, they can take care of your safety, human resources, or corporate planning. Happy birthday to my man, Sean Connor, over at Prime.
Happy birthday, Sean Connor. Sean Connor. Somebody said you've lost your mind, Matt. I don't know why. Maybe when I was singing Elmo? I don't know.
I liked the end of it.
Oh gosh, OG.
Yep.
I'ma just had 3.
I just had 3. That was it. You nailed that
I
one.
have 4 ducks. 4 birds of a feather. So why don't we?
Okay. Matthew Rogelio, ask y'all. When asked about his post-game comments in the press conference yesterday, Coach O said that they have to block out the noise. How do you block out the noise when the noise is coming from the inside? Usually the noise is from the Nega Tigers and the media.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. It's not their noise to block out. It's his noise. I mean, I would be interested to see if there was like a formal, like, hey guys, I probably shouldn't have said that. It's my bad. Like one of those deals. I don't know.
In that comment, he did say block out the noise, but he said, we'll talk to the team today, and we'll move on from it. I think we'll be all right.
And look, in the heat of the moment, like what he said was not false. He was right.
I agree, he's right.
And so like you said, almost transparent to a fault. Like what he said was right, but you just don't say it there. Not in that spot.
Dane Babbins has asked y'all, is Joe Oliva the smartest man on earth knowing he could hire Coach O or anyone else, but it wouldn't matter because Saban's still coaching?
No, Joe Oliva's not the smartest man on earth.
That's a good point.
It's a good point, but he's not the smartest man.
This guy said, Matt, you could watch movies and TV with your family. It's called Family Time. Star Wars and Marvel Universe is calling you. Drew will love it. Drew doesn't love that.
He likes Elmo.
Drew wants to watch Elmo.
Sesame Street. And Pat Shingleton.
And Pat Shingleton and Big Block Sing Song. And that's about it. He doesn't want to watch any of your Marvel Avengers or Star Wars. And I don't care about it either.
So I like it.
I do a great job of allocating my time with my family. But when I'm not on family time, I am sprinting, doing work. And just how I live my life.
Hey, we can talk about LSU basketball game tonight, home opener.
Okay.
Fired up.
Go.
I'm going. That's it.
Cool.
Naz Reid. That's it. That's all I got. I'm fired up. I'm going.
Cool.
Yep.
Let's see. Ask Us. if we hadn't lost to Florida and just Bama, do you think we sneak into the playoffs?
If you go undefeated, possibly.
What?
If you go undefeated the way out.
Oh, if you win out?
Yeah, if you win out, possibly.
So if they had gone 11-1 with the only loss to Alabama, maybe.
If Alabama continues to throttle people.
Yeah, so essentially it would come down to an 11-1 LSU or what would be an 11-2 Georgia that lost the SEC championship game. And you saw that example last year because Auburn beat Alabama head-to-head, but lost the SEC championship game, and Bama got in as a one-loss team. So, yeah, I do think they'd be in if they went out and had beaten Florida, but they didn't. So, off-the-wall question from LeBlanc fam. Is there any percentage that LSU could make the playoffs? I know it won't happen, but is there maybe a 1% chance? We've seen crazier things happen over the years. Asking as a Tiger fan, thanks, Rocky in New Iberia.
Yeah, maybe a 1%.
So what you would have to have happen is a few things. You need Washington State to lose in the regular season and then lose again. You would need Oklahoma to lose and then lose in the Big 12. Oklahoma and West Virginia both to be two-loss teams, and then obviously it wouldn't matter who would win that conference championship. You would assume Alabama wins out, and you would want Alabama to win out and beat Georgia. So Georgia would be a two-loss team, and you would have beaten them head-to-head. So you want Alabama to win out. You'd want Clemson to win out and get in, and then you would need Notre Dame to lose.
They would have to lose.
Michigan is sitting there as a one-loss team, so you'd probably want Michigan to lose to Ohio State as well and be a two-loss team. So those are all things that you'd have to have happen, and then a two-loss LSU would be in the conversation and maybe could get in, but I don't think so.
That's a lot of losing.
Yep. Does Des Bryant help the Saints?
It depends on what Des Bryant it is. Now, he hasn't played football in a long time. But, I mean, if he's Des Bryant, like Des Bryant, absolutely.
Ask us, LSU basketball win total for the season.
How many games they play?
30.
30?
Maybe postseason too.
They're going to win more than they lose.
Brilliant.
They're going to win 75% of their games or more.
I think they go 12-6 in conference. I think they're going to have a great year. Give me 11-7. No, I would take 12-6.
I love that. That's when you do something smart that comes up. Good job.
People message me on this thing. It's so stupid. Annoys me. Ask us, any chance Tigers change their offensive philosophy?
Nope.
Hugh Freeze for OC in 2020?
Yep.
Paul Feinbaum was on WJOX in Birmingham today and said he believes Hugh Freeze will be at Auburn next year.
That'd be bad.
Hugh Freeze and Gus Malzahn are good friends and believes and Hugh Freeze was there at Auburn a few weeks back and believes that he will have an offer and will take that job. Interesting. That's a guy who would know.
Yeah, it's not good for us.
By the way, Hugh Freeze is not coming to Baton Rouge. He and Ed are not. That's not going to happen. After that showing, we're still 9 to 10. What do you think we come in as tonight? What? Oh, where do you think LSU comes in the ranking tonight?
9th? Isn't that what they are?
Who cares? Who would you want to see LSU play in a bowl game?
Like a Washington State would be fun.
They're going to go to the Rose Bowl. Fiesta Bowl against West Virginia. Or Peach Bowl against Central Florida. Either one of those would be fine with me. Dane says, do you really want any part of Central Florida? I do. Yeah, I'd love to see LSU throttle them. It'd be a lot of fun. Does Notre Dame need to lose twice? Maybe, but they don't play a conference championship game.
They don't have anybody left.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they've got Florida State and USC, neither of which are having good years, but nominally they're good.
Yeah, guys.
Ask us favorite cartoon character.
I like the coyote on, what is it? Little Fast Coyote? Wile E. Coyote?
Oh, Wile E. Coyote?
Wile E. Coyote.
Not Wile E. Coyote. It's Wile E. Coyote
I like
is
Wile
the
E.
character's
Coyote.
name. Yeah.
I like him.
I like Tigger.
I like Tigger, too.
Yeah. Now, Tom said you skipped right over mine. We read that one, Tom. It was a really weirdly worded question, Tom. Okay, we got to get out of here. It's the Riot Podcast. He's Ryan Terrio. I'm Matt Moscona. We appreciate you for hanging out. If you are finding this via Twitter, please retweet it. If you're finding this via Facebook, please share it. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, thank you for being here. Please hit the share button. That's a big help to us. And if you're finding this on iTunes, rate it, whatever, just tell a friend and all that stuff. And be sure to give our friends at Prime Occupational Medicine a follow here on Twitter, on Facebook, however, or look, call them and hire them. 749-5750. 749-5750 or primeoccmed.com, primeoccmed.com. If you're a business owner, holler at our guys over at Prime Occupational Medicine. He's Ryan Terrio. I'm Matt Moscona. Thanks for being part of the Riot Podcast today.
No, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. See you later.
You're welcome.